Hello, everybody. We're coming to the final event, to the closing session. And I'd like to start with something I'm copying from the last event in Holland, from What the Hack, which I found really useful. Because you know a lot of us, but we know almost nothing from you, which is probably quite good. But we really like to know, where are you from? I know this is not really statistics, it's just like rough. But if you could just please raise your hand whenever you think that one of the requests on the slides applies to you. So our first question is, where are you from? If you're from Germany, raise your hand now. Okay. What about other German-speaking areas? Austria, Switzerland, it's your time. Okay. Europe. Hackers. Not only once. Okay, logic. Excluding German-speaking areas, please. Okay. And Eastern Europe, excluding everything else. Okay, didn't see anything. Did anybody see anything? Here we are. Show, yeah, you're alive. Okay, we need more from you. Yeah, we definitely need more people from Eastern Europe all over. Tell them, please. Thanks. Okay, here we are, North America. Wow. Quite a few. Thank you for coming. And now the rest of the world. Here, there, there. Oh, you were twice, huh? Okay. Okay. Next question is, where have you been? I'm not asking which countries you've been. We want to know, which Chaos Communication Congress have you attended? And let's count. Who attended the first Chaos Communication Congress? 1984. Oh. Old school, beware of these guys. 2, second. 3rd. Andy, you can just stand up. Okay, I'm counting now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, where are we now? 1990? 94? Yeah. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're now in Berlin. Haus am Kölnischen Park. 16, the first one that actually had the C3 moniker. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Who's coming next year? Great. Who was at the first camp, 1999? Who was at Hackers at Large 2001 in Holland? The second camp, 2003. What the heck? Okay, thank you very much. So where are we going from here? I think in the future, the Congress has to gain some focus, and one of these focuses is content. We already did this. We started last year totally changing the process on how we are designing the conference program, and I think we did pretty well so far. Also, we need more focus on projects. We already had quite a few, and you can see them. It's Wikipedia here, it's mesh networking there, and all the other stuff. You can't really name them. But what we want you to know is that we are really interested in getting all these actively working projects here to the Congress to show their work and show what they're doing. So this should definitely be one way we should follow. Also, and we always try to do this for a couple of years now, we want to integrate other scenes. I mean, there are many people out there who are not that much into computers, that not so much into computing, they're probably not that much into technology in general, but they share the same basic ideals. They share the basic vision of where we all want to go to, and especially where we not want to go to. And I think we have to find a way to get more of these guys. Like the VJs and the DJs down there, it's just the same breed. And I think also we need to focus on networking the community even more. Congress is probably a very good place to do this. There are other events out there that are doing a perfect job as well. And this is definitely our way. And of course, we have to broaden our focus beyond Europe. And we're starting this. We've been doing this for some years now, establishing English content, getting international. And all of you of North America and the rest of the world, go out and tell them to come here, please. So there have been quite a few discussions here, lots of lectures, lots of talks, lots of really interesting stuff. There was a single one that was sort of sticking out of everything because it really moved people. There were a lot of hot discussions around this in many areas. And the question was, did we lose the war? And I'd like to ask Rob to say a few things about this.
I received more feedback on that lecture than I had on any other feedback ever, on any other lecture ever. I'm confused now. Lots of people were touched by it, felt woken up. And lots of people also felt very confused, very depressed, and lots of people sort of bothered us about the choice of the word war. We didn't lose a war, we lost a battle. And I was basically thinking about this a lot and presenting my argumentation for calling it a war, which is that it wouldn't be very believable if we called it a battle. Because we've always said, or at least I have been saying for past 20 years, that given a state with the possibilities that we're facing right now, given the state that can see every person, every car, every dime, every telephone call, every communication, given that state, we would end up in a situation where it would be very hard to turn back from anything bad happening. And we've always said that if we allow that to happen, we are screwed. So dictatorships happen. Dictatorships happen. You can put on the next slide now. And basically our point has been you can't stop certain areas of the world or even large areas of the world of rolling into dictatorship. You can just make sure that dictatorship doesn't have the means that we see being created right now. We're entering a situation which doesn't have historic parallels, and we wanted to make sure that this was clear. We tried to make sure this did not happen, and it did happen. And it's actually probably more important that we did stop this from happening than stopping dictatorship, because we're pretty sure that cannot be done. There will be more wars. In fact, there's a more important war coming up. And if people don't realize that they're fighting wars to begin with, they have no chance of winning. So maybe if we all realize that we're fighting wars, we have a chance of winning the next one. The outside world is very confused when hackers say we're giving up. That's how it's been conceived. I mean, people that weren't here in this lecture just read the title and thought we were giving up. Half of our lecture was about alternatives. What can we still do? How does the world change? But lots of people haven't gotten this, and the media have reported on it as hackers are giving up. My thinking is this is actually a good thing, because in the outside world, we have this magic button in our hands. The outside world sees everything going to hell, but they also have this feeling that hackers can fix it. Well, everything is bad and the government can see everything we do, but at least we have the hackers. And this, as much as I enjoy the sort of Robin Hood heroism that goes with that, and I think most of you do, this is not very productive, because it gives the rest of the world a reason to sigh, to breathe a sigh of relief and think, oh, phew, at least we have the hackers. And we need to impress on these people that we don't have that magic button. We don't have it in our hands. We cannot just press and the whole world will stop being a dictatorship, governments will fall apart, and democracy will happen all of a sudden. And if people understand this, they will know that they have a responsibility for themselves. We can help. In fact, we can be very, very important helps in the battle to make sure that dictatorship, with the current means that governments have, does never happen again. So I think that is the hard task, is to hold on to democracy like there is no tomorrow. And with that, I would like to pass it back to Tim.
Okay, now for the funny part. Statistics. I know you're waiting for it. You get it. Let's start with the changelog. There have been a few things that we changed from last year to this year. I'd like to know if this worked out. First of all, and most obvious, we had 4 days. Has this been a good idea? Okay. Who votes for 5? Who volunteers? Okay, I get back to that. I don't think we're going to make it next year, but keep in mind, I'm going to talk about this a bit more. This is a lot of work. Anyway. We had the smoking policy change this time, and I think I think the best thing about is that we had a huge discussion on this. You can't imagine how huge this discussion was. And long and long and long. And in the end, it was pretty clear we had to do something, but there were many opinions floating around on how to actually achieve this. And of course, the first thing was, we have to set up rules, you know. But we sort of decided not to do that. We more or less put up recommendations. And I think it worked pretty well. So the good thing is that once we all agree on something, we can really do things without establishing laws and all this stuff. It just works. That's cool. Thank you for that. Also, well, last Congress was a bit crowded, so we decided to have a more relaxed Hack Center layout. People were opting for running around all the time, no seats, la la la.